Hey everybody, and welcome back to what is part two of the SMS Astray custom painting series. And in this episode two, we are going to focus on the reds. In here we have all of our red pieces, and just to demonstrate, this is one of the red pieces all ready for paint. It's been primed. Very little of this piece will actually be seen, but I'm still painting the entire thing because you never know. So this will be kind of the guinea pig. I'll show this same piece off at the end and give you a demonstration of what this is going to look like. As far as the paints go, we are going to be working with the raspberry red, which if you've seen my Sazabi build, you know this is an awesome color, and that'll give you an idea of what this is going to look like. And then clear red over top of the raspberry red to give it a like a deepening effect, more of a deep red. So let's take a look at the paints individually. Of course, you know, SMS style with the labeling, it's very minimal. I love it. This is SMS Pearl Raspberry. It's got some raspberries in the background. This is just clear red, so it just says, premium clear red. They are pre-thinned in the bottle, of course. Just pour and spray right into your airbrush. This is the same as the primers or surfacers as for PSI and needle rating. So it's for best result, 0.3 needle at 12 to 15 psi. So I'm probably going to be running the same psi I did on the surfacers on this. And safety, this is a lacquer paint, so please, when spraying this, please use PPE, personal protective equipment, in the form of nitrile gloves and a respirator. And if you have a booth, that's great. If not, use a well-ventilated area. So with all that said and done, we will get to spraying the raspberry and then the clear red over that, and then we will return after it's all painted. Alright, and here we are at the end of the journey for the red pieces. As you can see, have a ton of red pieces in here. I'm actually going to take this one out too, just to show off. Now, you know, the raspberry red is awesome by itself, but you know, I had used the raspberry red previously. I was very well acquainted with it, although this time I didn't change the PSI from how I previously set it, so I still had it around 12 PSI, which was lower than the first time I sprayed the raspberry. And through my airbrush, all the paints I've done so far with SMS, these two at 12 PSI was a pleasure to spray. I mean, at 12 PSI is like my magic number for SMS Paints apparently, because it went on super smooth, very easy, covered well, of course, as they do. They're very well pigmented paints. But as far as this clear goes, best clear I have used yet. It helps that it's pre-thinned, because that's cool, you just pour and spray, but the coverage of it was insane. You can see here, half of it has the clear red on it and half doesn't. And I mean, that's only a couple passes of the clear red. You know, of course, with clear paints, the more you go over it, the darker it's going to get. But I just wanted to darken it up and deepen it up a little bit. So that's like one pass, like one real pass. So you can see before, I mean, it was still really cool. And if you put a gloss over that, it would still, you know, just a simple gloss would make it really come to life. But it just makes it such a richer, deeper red with that clear red over it. And like I said, it was so easy to spray. It went over in like just one pass. The pigmentation's great. The consistency of it's great. So what I'm trying to say here is, I guess, is these paints are phenomenal to spray. You know, like I said, through my airbrush at 12 PSI. So if you stay between that 12 and 15 PSI range that they stay on the bottle, you'll have no problems. They're great, and they flow through your airbrush with no problems. Just to go over a couple pieces here, though. This is the back piece, and you know, all of it got the same treatment, so it's all the same shade of red. But when you hit the light just right, the particles from the pearl come through, and it's the same color, it's just a deeper color. This is the guinea pig piece from the beginning, and as you can see, very beautiful. Like I said, most of this is probably going to be covered up, I think, other than these two vent areas, but I mean, it's a really awesome color. It's really, I like painting all the parts into its entirety anyway. And then we got the little shield insert, which right there you can see the dynamic changes and the effect that it gives. And I mean, all this is really smooth. There's no orange peel on it at all. Super smooth to the touch. So that's going to conclude the reds. Next episode, we are going to focus on the gunmetal and clear black. And it's going to be very similar to this video, because as we did a pearl with a clear color over it, so it's going to be basically the same thing. But I've never ever used clear black before. I have used in the past some clear red before, so I kind of knew, you know, how that was going to work. Clear black, I'm assuming is going to work about the same way, but I've never used it, so it's going to be my first time using it, and we'll see how it goes. So, once again, that's going to be it for this video. Like and subscribe would be appreciated if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.